Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 224, sold with Updike. Pugh, am I 224?
You're 224, my
Great.
friend.
Sorry.
And this week, we're going to talk about tax appraisal time because you know it's that time of year. You've gotten the letters, you've heard the horror stories, you've seen the fear in people's eyes. You know what? I think we need to get our terminology right. I feel like we need to dismiss some of these myths and give people solid information that they can use to make decisions to better adjust.
I would agree.
If they can.
Yeah.
Because you can't always, I can't.
Yeah. I've had, 5 people I've already talked to, communicated with, either sending them comps about their neighborhood or telling them, I can't provide anything that's going to help you.
Yeah.
And almost everybody understands that when you explain to them what you're seeing, I still send them comps that they want, but most of the time once they see that, they're usually in agreement.
Yes, and not to put a damper on it, but it seems like prices have gone up so much that it's really sometimes tough unless you're in one of those hideaway neighborhoods.
Yep.
So what we're going to talk about is actually the process, because I think this is where people get lost and they get confused. And so let's just start from square one, the valuation of the property.
And that's really where we are today. So the appraisal district, if you go to their website, now we're speaking really about the Dallas the Dallas Central Appraisal District, which handles property valuations for a lot of the taxing entities around here. Like where I live, I get taxed by the city of Dallas, Dallas County, Parkland Hospital, DISD, and I think there's one other in there.
Community college?
The community college, thank you. If you live in, let's say you live out in Northwest Dallas, Northeast Dallas, you might be taxed by the city of Dallas, Richardson School District.
Correct.
Dallas County, Hospital District, there's different, depending on where your property is. And then there's other appraisal districts around also, which there's the Collin County Appraisal District, there's the Tarrant County Appraisal District. So it gets a little convoluted, but we are just talking about Dallas Central Appraisal District today.
But we can help you if you're in other areas
Yes.
as well. So what they actually do at this point is they're going to establish your market value, and then from there base that and give you also your taxable value. Those are 2 different numbers that they're going to provide you.
And when you go to the Dallas Central Appraisal District, DCAD is what we call them for short. When you go to the DCAD website, there is a really interesting, I think it's probably a 20-page PDF in there that has a lot of visual aspects to it. So it's not 20 pages of reading, but it talks about the valuation process they use and how they have come up with this, which I thought was really interesting because it helps you, especially if you're going to go into the next part of it, which is the review of the appraisal. If you're going to protest your valuation, then it's good to know how they got to the number that they did so that you can figure out how to use that information to, I guess, work with yours.
Yes, that's right. And because this is all now online, things have sped up quite quickly, and it makes it so much easier for you to actually request and protest your taxes. Whereas before it was a mail-in and a process, now it is online and it is linked to your actual physical address.
So they don't tell you this on the website, but this is how Dallas County or Dallas Central Appraisal District works, is you file your protest electronically, you receive an electronic notification from them, just like Weston was saying, that they've received your protest. When you file your protest, you have to upload what data you want to be considered in your protest. And it could be pictures of your home showing condition, it could be a real appraisal. If you just had a real appraisal done, that's a really hard one for them to argue with if you've just had it appraised and it's lower. But once you've got all that information up, they will send you an email telling you whether you are eligible for an offer. And so many times what they're trying to do is cut down on the number of people that come in for the protest. So they're going to send you this offer that if you'll accept this value, we don't need to go through the rest of the process.
And you can thank COVID for that, because prior to that, that was not nearly the case where they would submit that. But post-COVID, because they were really trying to handle that really sped that up. So let's say that you do not accept what they're offering you as a median. Then you would actually go and you would appear. And it's very interesting because appearing before the appraisal review board, is not nearly as daunting as what you think it is.
It's not. It's not. It is.
That sounds like a huge word. It sounds scary as all get out. And it's
not.
over 10, 15 minutes at the max.
Yes, I would encourage every homeowner to go through this at least once. Maybe you'll hire an outside company to do it from now on, but go through it at least once and see it, because it is not the onerous process that it all sounds like.
Because what they'll do is they'll bring all the information that they're going to use up on a large screen, and there's a couple of people, other members of the board, they're going to talk with you about it. And at that point, that's your ability to say, well, they're looking at that house, and my fence is like or is not brand new, and that is a brand new fence. And there's ways for you to work through to come into a even lower number. But what happens when you still don't agree with the review board?
Well, there is another step. I wanted to say that during that last process, one of the things, you want to be honest and truthful with them. Don't try to mislead them. Actually use real data. They do have access to our MLS.
Good point.
So if you bought your house a year or 2 years ago and you're arguing that your kitchen is the original kitchen, they know in those photos it's not an original kitchen, and that will get you in a lot of hot water if you do that. So do not do that.
And if it's been taken out of MLS, you're like, oh, but my agent took it out. There's a good chance they're going to flip over and go to Zillow. And if your agent didn't think about it, it is on Zillow, and they're going to see it.
Yes.
So
the last one,
that's
okay, already came up, was the last step is you can appeal to the district court. I'm sorry, that was my fault. You can appeal to the district court and file a lawsuit. And usually when you have to go to that, I don't know of anybody personally that's ever gone to that. I'm sure it happens, but that's if you're really butting heads over some valuation that you just don't come to agreement on. So the cool thing is, if you win that, you do get all your attorney's fees paid for by the appraisal district.
So I would think that in a case where you can't come to any type of agreement and you do the lawsuit, you're either talking about a substantial amount of land that's extremely unique, or a piece of property that is so valuable, establishing a number gets real tough.
It could be, and keep in mind that all property goes through this, not only just real property, but business personal property. Yep. So corporations that own copiers, that own office equipment, that own cubicles, all of that is valued in their annual taxes. And so I think many times it's going to be more a commercial type environment that's going to go through the lawsuit version than it is a homeowner.
Good. Let that be over there. And last but not least, it's time to pay those taxes.
Yeah.
So that is coming up
October. So the last part of this process is all the people that are protesting right now, we'll probably have all those hearings done probably by the end of July. They try very hard to get all those bunched into like a 6-week period. So by August 1-ish, the total value that is going to be taxed upon is shared with all the municipalities or all the taxing districts. So that's when those taxing districts set their tax rate. And that's what all comes together for you to get your tax bill in October.
Good times. Only 2 things you have to do in life: pay taxes and die.
That is true. So we hope you found this helpful today. If there's any other information that you'd like about this process, or if you need comparable data, just reach out to us. We would be happy to make that happen.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.